Confidence is not a fluke, confidence is a choice, and it begins with our mindset. In this podcast, you will find a variety of research proven strategies that will lead you from being self critical, your worst enemy, to being the most confident version of yourself. I am Olga, former therapist, confidence life coach, blissfully an IVF mother, a wife, and this is the Journey to Happy podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Journey to Happy podcast. Forgive me, I'm not giving you the number of the podcast, but it's in the 130s, somewhere in there. Okay, today I want to talk to you about a question I get asked a lot. I will begin by telling you a little story that I experienced the end of last year that really made me want to record this podcast for you guys. So the question is, do I need a life coach? Bias aside from the work that I do, I sincerely think that life coaching brings out the best of humanity. That self-awareness, that self-reflection allow us to become powerful when we're making decisions from a place of knowledge, not assumptions, but knowledge. So I believe life coaching is an asset, an investment, and a well worth investment. I'll begin with that statement. Now, the answer, so should I have a life coach? If you ask me, even if I wasn't a life coach, I will be saying yes. And I will be saying that about anybody who wants one. Okay. Now, the story I was about to tell you is that recently, as one of my clients was coming to the end of our contract together, she said to me, I don't know what I want to do next because I'm not sure if I need more coaching. And she followed that with, I want to start withdrawing from you. I had to take a pause, put my phone down, let my skin that had crawled up calm down because I had been coaching this person for a while and it killed me that her perception of coaching was coming from a place of needing and withdrawing, like it was a drug or something, a dependency of sorts. And so because of that, it made me really want to come and talk to you about life coaching and whether or not you can decide if that is something that you want. There's a major difference between needing and wanting. A big difference. Anything that comes from the energy of needing is fear-based. And in fact, if we engage in a coaching relationship from a place of need, you will get like a 30%, if not lower, from the coaching experience. Because you are not entering the relationship as a responsible human being for your results. You're putting it all in a place of, I am broken, I need fixing, and somebody better glue me back together. That's what needing energy is all about. So from that perspective, if you feel that you need coaching for the next step, I'm going to ask you to stop from making the decision of hiring a coach and come back and do some inner work and instead think, what would I do? What would I work on if I was being coached? What would I want to improve and master? What would I want to get out of? What habits would I like to get out of versus do I need this? Because if you're still in the perception of need, perhaps you're confusing coaching with therapy or with medicine or with drugs. I don't know. But coaching, life coaching, is for the self-growth enthusiast, is for the person who wants to learn more about themselves and wants to use that knowledge to do something. It's all about wanting, has nothing to do with need. And in fact, I would care to say for anybody who's listening to this podcast, if you engage in any relationship, not just with a coach, in any relationship, romantic, with a friend, with a boss, from a place of need, you probably experience a lot of walls in those relationships, a lot of pulling and chasing, where you feel that you have to pull and chase in order to connect because you might not even see it consciously. But when you engage in a relationship from a place of neediness, you can suffocate and you can begin to make people around you feel like they're not enough because you're not adding your percentage. You are simply, I just threw my pen away. You are simply there in the relationship so that they can give you. Neediness, the energy of neediness is about receiving, about getting. And you forget about giving. So to come back to the coaching perspective, and you can utilize this whole podcast just to answer to your question as to maybe why some relationships aren't working, and do some self-introspection and think to yourself, am I showing up as a needy queen or as the most generous human who wants to be in this relationship and is not keeping tabs on how much I am giving, because I know for a fact I will never go broke by giving more than I receive. Personally, that's my philosophy of life. I give as much as I'm willing to, as much as it makes me absolutely happy, regardless of how much I'm receiving back. And I do the same in my coaching experience. But when my clients join me from a place of need, they often feel like I don't give them enough. They often blame, and not just my clients, in general, clients who are in coaching, whether that's a nutritional coach or a life coach or a money coach or a business coach. When you join that program, that person from a place of need, you're often going to feel like they are not doing enough, like they're failing you, because you might still feel like you're broken because you haven't changed that perception, right? You're still meeting yourself from that place of need. So I essentially wouldn't want to coach anybody who feels they need me. And I would pick this up very quickly and turn it back to them and say, if you think you need this, I'm not the right person for you. I don't need you to need me. I never want you to need me. I want you to want to be here, because your progress and your results will be undeniably achievable. But if you're here from a place of need, it means you are placing in my hands 100% responsibility of your results. So should I have a life coach? Yes, you should have a life coach. Why? Why should you have a life coach? And when I was writing my notes for this episode, I decided to think of me. I am my best client. I coach myself. But also I have a life coach and I have a business coach. And I sincerely and genuinely believe that life coaching and coaching in general, having coaches, it is the most insightful, fun, personal growth that a person can do. I, without a doubt, I'm a better business owner. I am a better mom. I am a better wife. I am a better human, better relationship with myself because of the work I've done with my coaches throughout the years. And so I am a big fanatic of coaching. In fact, I today coach because of my experience being coach, and I will never stop. This past weekend, for example, I had the opportunity to work with a master coach for a couple of hours on a few mindset blocks that I had. And I was blown away and still am. I didn't hire him for a couple of hours because I needed him, but because I wanted to. I was so intrigued. I really wanted to dive into some thoughts and patterns I have and bring more awareness from a different perspective. So what is the job of a coach? First of all, a coach holds hope on your behalf until you can grab it back. So for example, if you desperately want to make $1 million, but you don't believe that you can, that's your coach's job to hold that hope for you until you grab it. And you're like, I can make $1 million. So I think that's a beautiful relationship to have. And you don't really have that with anybody else, but a coach will do that for you. So that has been a huge benefit for me. But what, for example, happened this weekend is that through this coaching session, this coach was able to show me blind spots. Listen, no matter how good you are at doing mindset work and self-reflection, we all have blind spots. And it takes one conversation with a professional who knows how to guide you. And it's like he was holding a mirror. And suddenly I could see he didn't even have to say much. He was just asking me a few questions. And I was like, oh my God, you're absolutely right. That will be the problem. That will be the thought that keeps me in the energy of being blocked. Whatever money I paid for this session, I tell you one thing, it was worth 10 times more. Because if I was to put value to the benefits that I'm going to have in my life moving forward from how I understood what was blocking me and understanding now where the root and how to create that change, like I said, invaluable. Like I cannot put a price tag to that. Now, I wasn't always open to investing in coaching, and I assumed other people wouldn't be open to investing in coaching. But since I've learned to engage in coaching myself, I've learned to invest in myself, and that has significantly increased my own perception of worthiness. The moment we start investing in ourselves, it's like we have changed the view of ourselves. Before that, I would always be looking at the cheapest option, the one which it would cost me the least. And unless I absolutely needed it, I wouldn't pay for it. And so that's what is so much fun about coaching. You don't do it because if you don't do it, then you won't be able to work again. Like the first time I went to see a therapist, or not the first time, but the last time I went, no, not the last one either. But one of the times I went to see a therapist, it was because I sincerely felt if I don't do something about this anxiety I'm having and burnout, I won't be able to work one extra day. I will have to quit my job as a therapist and do something else in life. Imagine that a therapist that struggled going to therapy, accepting that I needed help. Insane. That's something that will never, ever, ever, ever happen again to me because I am being coached. And by being coached, I catch things so early. Okay, I need trusting. I'm going to allow that. And if a mental block shows up, I've got somebody also seeing it and helping me through it. So, and when I was talking to his master coach, who's, by the way, has had incredibly great positions in his life, and he now owns a very successful coaching firm in the States. He works with a very famous coach in the States on big stages, like an incredible human to have had the opportunity to talk to. And I will for always be thankful that he gave me time of his busy life during a weekend to talk to me, to coach me. And throughout our session, he said, he was explaining, helping me understand one of my blockages. And he was saying it from a personal perspective, like he had the same mental block. And he said to me, Olga, when I was being coached through this by my coach, here I'm still shocked. I'm looking at this man who's well into his 70s, for sure. Highly successful businessman, highly successful coach. He's an author. He, like I said, goes into massive stages throughout the States. He coaches major corporations. And he is being coached so that he also gets out of his own mental drama and sees his blind spots. That's it. I'm sold. I always want to be coached by somebody who's never done being interested in their own growth. So coaching, my friends, is not about needing it. Get out of the energy of need because there is nothing good that comes from that energy. That energy kind of suggests that you on your own are not whole and complete, and get into the energy of I am whole and I've got a desire to improve, to grow, to learn. And that's why I hire a life coach. So I want you to know that coaching, it is of incredible value. And there are times for coaching and there are times for therapy, and you have to know the difference. If you are in the middle of a traumatic event, if you are working through very heavy emotions and you wouldn't have the stamina, the mental capacity to criticize yourself in a constructive way, to create goals, to be called out when you don't have those goals, to repair on your thoughts, then it's not time for coaching, it's time for therapy. And you need to do some deep healing. Like when I was doing therapy, I wouldn't have been that open to coaching. My mental capacity would have been really occupied by the trauma or the pain that I was going through. And there was times like, for example, when I was trying to conceive and I finally decided to go see a therapist to help me with my emotional pain, I also had a life coach. And that combination was like power. Pure power. I was able to just bring myself out of the fear of never becoming a mom in such a quick way and being so aware of how my thoughts were shaping my living experience in the moment. Not once did I think I need therapy. I was there by choice because I wanted to heal. I wanted to get the tools to help me through the emotional pain that I was aware of. And not once did I think, I don't need coaching right now, or I need coaching. I wanted to be coached because that was also like such a great component to me getting forward from what I was feeling. So remember that you will never go broke. You will never go without by investing in yourself, and you will never go broke by giving more than you receive. Okay. It is so important that we just drop the energy of need and instead enhance the energy of wanting. You know, the most attractive people, the most successful people, and attractive in the sense that everybody's attracted to them. You're like an Oprah, like a Michelle Obama, like this personality that they walk into the room and you're like, whoa, what do they have? And it's not just you, it's everybody. We all kind of share that. They stand in their energy of I am whole, and I want more. And they operate from that perspective and not from the perspective I need. And if I don't, I will never become enough. So the state of being in which we can choose the want versus the need is what negates, like when you are in the state of need, negates a positive experience. So, like I said, if you bring that neediness to any relationship, it negates a personal experience for you and for them. And you often will walk away thinking they were not good enough, they didn't give you enough, they didn't value you enough, they took you for granted. Nobody sees your greatness because you engage relationships from a place of need. For example, and I've had a client say this to me, I didn't get anything out of the last few months of coaching, which I knew wasn't true because I had been seeing the progress. But in her perception, she hadn't. Maybe she hadn't realized, she hadn't celebrated her wins. She hadn't realized, maybe she had these expectations that she was going to be elsewhere. I've been there where I've blamed my coach for my results and like, they didn't give me enough. I've realized now that twice I've engaged in coaching relationships, especially with my business coach, wanting to be where I'm not. I just need to be somewhere else, not here. And so you're going to do that for me. You are the person who's got the answer for my solutions. Turns out that I have the answers all along, and it's until something clicks within you that you begin to make that progress. But so long as you enter the relationship from a place of need, you will negate any positive experience. So I don't want you to come across as needy in any relationship, but especially if you do choose to invest in a coach, don't choose the one that you think you need. Choose the one that you want to be with. The energy I want more of that woman's or that person's energy in my life. I love what she has, and she is an example of what's possible for me. So for example, when I chose my coach, first of all, I chose a visible minority, a woman who wasn't your white middle class, has had a great life all along. I wanted a visible minority because I can see myself there. I wanted a coach who was killing it in her business, but who was also an incredible mom and killing it as a mom and who had a very happy marriage. I wanted an example of what I want, what I'm working towards, what I have, but who's like 3 steps ahead of me. And so I have all of the respect for my coach. And not once do I let any thought in my head to come and separate me from my coach. I trust, I let her coach me, I learn, I'm open, and I am curious to see the lessons being implemented in my life and see where they take me. So all of this into diving because I didn't want you to, it really just bothered me, especially that I've been coaching this person for as long as I have, and that was something that was still felt that she needed this. So I wanted to address it now in the podcast. If ever you're thinking of working with me or with another coach, stop asking yourself if you need it, because what you're going to do is wait until you actually feel completely broken or hopeless to say, okay, now I need a coach. I want you to think of it from a place of power and wanting and wow, I wonder, where would I go from here? Where would I want to go? And if I had somebody behind me looking at my blind spots, asking me, did you drink the 5 glasses of water you said you would? How far would I take this? How successful would I be? Whether that's marriage, coaching for marriage, coaching for eating, coaching for meditating, whatever coaching you think you want or that you want to grow. Don't choose thoughts where you think to yourself, I have to be coached. Don't choose thoughts that I should be doing this. Everybody's doing it. Choose thoughts that come from the wonders that would happen in my life if I was coached. And so I want to briefly leave you with some of the biggest lessons or gifts, okay, that coaching has given me. First of all, it's unlocked the manifestor in me. I am the kind of human who's got an idea and I go quickly to work and I make it happen and I feel that pride. I see it with the satisfaction of having done something. Since I've had a coach, I'm far more focused and far more present, and I think better about why is it that I want this. And so when I put all of my great energy to work, it is for greater purpose, one that I have thought through. That learning to pause and not just be impulsive has been of incredible value to me. I've gotten to a lot less arguments with my husband, for example. I have utilized my money in way wiser ways. I've invested better time with friends, time with people, time and money. I've invested better because now I'm not impulsive. I pause and I think. And I think it through. And then I ask myself, what would my coach be telling me? And just having that conversation with myself helps me see some of my blind spots on my own. So that's been one great benefit. Another great benefit is that I've learned to self coach out of my own blockages, that I can catch myself being in a blockage and ask my own self, nobody else's brain but my own, how do I get out of here? What will be the best possible way to get out of here? And so my self trust, my trust in I can handle it, my trust in I can figure this out, I can do this thing, even if it seems complicated, has increased tremendously. And with that has then increased the trust that my clients have in me, that I can help them figure it out, which is amazing. So by me doing the work, I'm helping other people trust themselves and do the work themselves. The self-awareness has not only allowed me to be more purposeful and take those moments of pause to really think through why I want to do that and be more focused and therefore more effective, but it has really given me permission to bring my focus to less is more, which I've spoken about this in previous podcasts. That was a hard one for me to implement. I understood the concept, but implementing it has freed so much time and thinking energy that I used to occupy in what else can I do? How else can I make this? It's allowed me to focus on who do I need to be. So every day, rather than spending time thinking of all the objections my own brain takes forward as to why my goals are too scary, too big, too difficult, I just focus on who do I need to be today to make of this goal something that is totally doable. So it has been of incredible power for me personally as a woman to have been coached the years that I have been coached. And I can say this sincerely, my husband knows, there will always be a budget in my finances for a coach. And I don't go for the cheapest option. I go for the person who I think can coach me best, who represents exactly, like when I look at my coach, I get so excited. It's like, she's here. The first time that I was in the same room with her, and by the same room, I mean Zoom, because she doesn't live in Canada, I felt like I was with a celebrity. She is like a celebrity to me. And I love every time she speaks. I am listening. I am open. She calls me out. I am listening. I am open. And because I have built this relationship where I chose who I wanted to work with, I chose who was going to coach me, then the work within me has been it's manifested in such a beautiful way, because now I go work for what I want. Somebody has held belief for me till I could grab it myself. So my capacity to believe that I can do all things has grown significantly because of my life coach and my business coach. So all of that to say, if you ask me, if I was your friend, obviously I wouldn't be coaching you, but if I was your friend and you ask me, should I have a life coach? Without a doubt, I would say yes. And there are so many life coaches out there that there is one for every single one of us. Really, there's going to be one with the personality, with the passions, with the jokes, with the experience. She has the gains that you want to have. She can represent to you. Look, it's possible. Like I said, my coach needed to represent to me that I could be a badass businesswoman, badass mom, badass wife, happy marriage, and live with freedom. And she is all those things and more. She inspires me every single day. What it does to you to be surrounded by people who inspire you, again, has no value. And in my experience, I don't have private coaching. I have group coaching. I am coached by my coach with a group of other women. Every single woman who sits at that table, I am privileged to be in their presence, because they are also go-getters who are also dreaming big, who are also wanting to have it all in the most beautiful of ways by giving their gift, by sharing with the planet what they came to this world to do. And I feel so incredibly inspired by them, by the work I'm doing, by my coach. I don't know how many other sources of inspiration you can have on a regular basis that coaching does provide you with. I don't know. So if you've got that inspiration at church, that's amazing. Keep doing that. If you've got that source of inspiration by watching movies, then keep doing that. But let me tell you, coaching is life changing. I am in the business of transforming lives. And that's exactly how I would describe the impact of a life coach in my life, is transform me. The way I think, the way I behave, the way I view myself, the way I do work, the consistency in which I do work, the things that I believe possible have been transformed because I decided to invest and have a coach who can see my blind spots, who can kindly but directly show me the things that I wouldn't see because I'm blinded by my own bias, by my own thoughts. So, should you have a life coach? Once again, if you were my friend, I will be saying yes. If you were my enemy, I'll be saying yes. If you were my sister, if you were my child, God knows I can't wait for Mateo to be of an age where I can bring him into coaching for the first time, introduce him to the wonders of coaching. Absolutely. Absolutely. So find your tribe, find your person, and do invest in coaching from a place of wanting, not needing. And then again, apply this to every relationship in your life, and you tell me what happens to those relationships. You guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope it was helpful. I know that if you have been listening to this podcast for a while, it's probably crossed your mind. Should I have a coach? I hope I answered that here for you. Yes, go for it. Move forward. If it's easier for you to begin with one-on-one, begin there. By all means, at some point, try group coaching. It is incredible because not only do you get your coach, you get the other ladies in the room that are likely from the same energy you are, who also chose the same coach for a good reason. They like her or him. And so and by the way, I've got a male coach and a female coach. I like this energy that I get from each of them. And I choose by how I feel this person makes me feel, if I like it or not, and how they inspire me. Essentially, life is about keeping our light of inspiration on at all times. When we lose that inspiration, we lose purpose, we kind of shut down. And so I don't want you to shut down. I want you to grow forever and eternally. And so life coaching is for the self-growth enthusiast, those who want to keep growing. And as long as we've got something to learn, we've got reasons to stay alive, people. So let's stay alive for a long time. I don't know you, but I want to meet my grandchildren. I absolutely want to meet my grandchildren. And not just meet them and check out. I want to meet them and play with them and create memories and have fun and swim and run and rollerblade and skate and ski and do all the things with my grandchildren. That's just my purpose. Okay, enough with my rant. Mwah. See you guys next Monday. Confidence is about taking empowered action with consistency. If you are done wishing you had more confidence with fill out the blank, and if you're ready to put an end to the bully that lives inside your mind, I want to invite you to my next Detox the Mind 5-day workshop, where you will learn proven strategies to go from self-critical to self-confident. For $97, you get 5 days of live coaching calls with me, workbooks to go along with your lessons, and teachings that will literally transform your life. This workshop will break you free from the prison of your own thoughts. Our next workshop begins April 11th, and you can join the waiting list today. Head over to the show notes or my website and make sure you add your name so you can be notified as soon as we open for registrations. I hope to see you inside.